20 hours, trouble-free hours with the Sportsman GEN1000i 1000 watt inverter generator. It has ran perfectly. As a matter of fact, this is a great little generator thus far. But per the instructions, at the 21 month or the 20-hour point, you're actually supposed to replace the oil. That is the only field that is marked at that. So that is that break-in oil change. Very, very important. So we're going to do that now. I've just turned this off. So as you saw on the meter, 20 hours of run time. And I let it sit for about 10 minutes. So we've still got warm oil, but it is settled down. I have everything that I'm going to need. I have some gloves. I have the screwdriver, a cloth there. I also have some extra cleaning cloths, some oil soaking cleaning cloths. And I have this Pitsburgh Oil Suction Gun. I'll have a review coming up on it, partially using this footage. Okay, so let's get the cover off, get into the generator, and see if we can get this oil drained out. Step one, and this is an optional step, I actually kept the little tag that hung under my gas lid to let me know that it's shipped without gas or oil. Vent my gas cap a little bit, remove it, and I'm going to put this back on. That'll alert me that I don't have any oil in this generator, just in case I get interrupted at some point, maybe some emergency or something that I have to leave. I don't forget about it and come back to no oil in the generator. So just a little precautionary thing there. With the side cover off, I'm actually going to place a little cloth down in here as best I can, just in case there is any spillage during this draining process, because getting down in those nooks and crannies to get out oil is not fun. I'm going to remove the dipstick here. My other cloth. Let's just check the level. See, I've already got a little drop there that came out. Oh yeah, that level is right on, exactly where it should be. So our first oiling was a good job. Let me make sure that that is wiping that. Okay, now let's take this oil suction gun. Actually, let me reposition this camera so you get a little better view of this. Take the Pitsburgh Oil Suction Gun. I'm going to put this tube in down in the oil fill port, and then I'm going to pull up. You're not going to be able to see this on camera, all of it. It won't fit in frame, but just pull up on this, and that should suck out most of our oil. See how well this works. Wow, surprisingly well. I can feel the warmth from that oil. All right, my oil suction device got, let's see how much we got here. About 6 of the 10 ounces. Now I can lean it and I can still see some in there. So what I'm going to try to do, it's going to be a turkey shoot. Try to get this generator to the edge and use our cup. As I've mentioned before, I'm not a fan of these designs where you don't have a drain plug, but when they're trying to make something limited, I totally understand why this one is this way. Limited space. Okay, so let's try this. Well, that's actually working quite well, isn't it? I was able to drain quite a bit of oil out of this thing. I don't know how well you can see down in there, but look, I mean, there's just barely a little puddle. Well, I do believe that this oil suction gun actually helped, but it didn't get it all by itself. But it does definitely keep away from a lot of the initial mess because it's so full. Because remember, you're filling it right up to that lip. So it does get down some of the mess. And let's see how much we actually drained out of our little generator. Let me lower the camera and look at this oil level. Our measuring cup has right at 10 ounces. I mean exactly at 10 ounces. And remember, that's the capacity of this little generator, is 10 ounces of oil. And then you add about an extra ounce to get it up to the overfill mark. So, all in all, the oil suction gun, and then combined with a little leaning with a pour cup, you'll need one of these measure cups to get that lip underneath there. Actually did so, look at that, without any mess. I had 1 drop of oil right there, and somehow 1 drop of oil right there. Other than that, no mess whatsoever. Right, let's put our oil cap back on. We don't have it full of oil, but remember I have that tag up top. Let's just kind of inspect everything. I don't see anything, any venting or any dripping anywhere. I do have, I don't know how you can see this, but there is some residue right there. Look at the other side, back side of this. Yeah, I've got a little bit there. That looks exactly like the powder where I pressure washed, and I pressure washed some wood off of my deck. Some old wood to get it looking better. And that looks like the powder after that. So let me just wipe that off. So I know it came in from the vent from outside the generator, because it was on the vents on this cover. So nothing from inside, nothing to worry about. Everything, the fuel line looks great. Again, higher quality fuel line than on, say, a Harbor Freight generator, at least the little $88 ones. Okay, so now let's get some oil back in this thing, and then we'll look at just a couple of more things and see if our generator's ready to go for another, well, I think up to 100 hours before the next oil change. All right, have our oil, have our funnel. Let's see if I can do this without spilling it over like I did last time. Common sense would tell me to use the measuring cup to measure it out, but I'm gonna wing it. See how it goes. How much of this you're gonna be able to see. One more little splash there. See how high this gets it. Oh yeah, that's right up to the threads, exactly perfect. The oil level is absolutely perfect, and I don't have anything on the lip anywhere. Very, very good oil fill. This was how I wished it would have went the first time. Just took it slow, very, very slow. So now let me put this cloth under here. Just as a precaution, I'm going to put in this dipstick. Just in case any spills out while I'm screwing in this dipstick. Okay, and nothing came out, not a drop. Very good, very, very good. All right. One thing that the instructions state that is really kind of difficult is to check the exhaust system for leakage and retighten the gasket if necessary. Well, the actual muffler gasket going into the head is behind a shroud, so that's actually impossible to get to. But what I think they're actually probably talking about, I'm assuming there's a gasket behind this muffler going onto that manifold. So let's take off this rear and just take a look at it. See what it looks like behind here, and if there's anything that we can tighten. Have this back cover off. I wanted to point out that is a rubber seal. Very, very impressive. It's little things like this that makes this Sportsman so well designed and a lot of thought put into it. Just some quality components that keeps this from vibrating. Put it very nice, very impressed with that. Okay, now onto the exhaust. It says to check for leaks. These two screws right here are actually what screw into this exhaust pipe that is behind there. This end would go to the head, this end would go to the exhaust. There's the gasket that they're talking about, because of course that's a head exhaust gasket there. You can't really get to that. Nor can you really get to this. But what I can do, and what you can do if you want to check, is just stick your finger in here and rub it around, because there's where the exhaust gasket is. You would instantly know there would be black on your finger. There's nothing on my finger. So this is not leaking. No need to even worry with those because it's not leaking. I'll still check them with a screwdriver just to make sure. Then I'll button the cover back up. When you put this back in, you actually have to kind of go in at an angle and you need to pop this in place. There's some little channels. If not, it won't seat properly. I think because of that rubber seal, it's pressing up against the seal, but there is a clear channel. You need to make sure this is popped in flush. If not, you don't have it in properly. Simply taking my gas cap off now to remove the tag to let me know that I have oil in the generator and it is ready to go. And this generator's ready. Just I inspected the front panel too, just to make sure there weren't any tears in anything. The hinge was working perfect. I checked the screws on the other side, but other than that, that is all that is required for the 20-hour service, which is the most important service on these little generators, because that's when you get your break-in oil out of the generator and get some fresh oil in. Now it's good for another 100 hours of use.